Spell present the Social Stars Awards 2022, our very own unique initiative to celebrate such evangelists who are nailing meaningful engagement opportunities for their brands. So here's a chance to gain ultimate recognition for your most innovative and creative social media campaign. We invite all brands, corporates, creative, design, digital marketing, advertising agencies, media, and public relations organizations and consultancies to showcase their case studies and show the world who the real social media star is. Log on to thesocialstars.com before the final entries close on 14th December 2022. With that, guys, it's time for the keynote address, and for that we have with us Mr. YOGIN VORA, Head Digital Marketing at Z5 Global, on the topic, how key technologies are changing traditional digital marketing. A little more about him. A digital marketing connoisseur working currently for an OTT player across global markets, started his career with traditional media planning at the age of 22. He strongly believes in curiosity is the mother of invention and innovation. He was instrumental in launching India first and global first products like YouTube music ads. Can you check that, please? Thank you. He was instrumental in launching India first and global first products like YouTube music ads, Google Connected TV, Samsung Connected TV, Performance Max and Search Form Ad by Google, Amazon Fire TV, and Reach Maximizer by Times Internet. He is currently working as Head of Digital Marketing for Z5 Global Markets. In his past role with HDFC Life, he was able to grow the business by 8 times in 3 years' time. He has been consistent in delivering businesses while maintaining the sanity of brand value. Please put your hands together for Mr. YOGIN VORA. Warm welcome.
Thank you. That was a great introduction, though written by me. Nice to see you in audiences here. I was expecting more, but it's great to see. I remember my 9 years before I was in college, and I used to sit there and I used to listen to a lot of people here. And it's a bright mind which can actually change the world and future of digital. So the topic is very interesting: key technology changes in digital marketing. And to start with, there are two ways I want to take it forward. One is the theory part, and another is the basic of my experience, what you see on the board. Overall, there are three major fundamental which I believe the technology has evolved over the time, which is consolidation, measurement, and data management. That is how the digital marketing overall in last 3-4 years have changed, and that also helped overall to get audience planning very efficiently, innovation, and around 360-degree marketing you can do it. So while I see this, first to understand what traditional digital planning was. We are talking about an era wherein we used to only plan about impression buying. Let's do this much clicks. Let we start buying an inventory which is a mastered and other things. And we used to not look at the perspective of what kind of an audiences we want, how we want it, is it a spillover or not. And now we are talking about an era where we are talking about machine learning, AI coming into the picture. Before that, understand there are two major partners in India who are actually bringing this technology changes, like Google and Facebook. And when they change, the entire digital era changes around there. So my experience with life insurance category before was when I was working on Google search, it was a lot of manual intervention. And when we start optimizing, you actually go to the agency, start asking for optimization, how much is the click and all. And now we are in an era where we are talking about machine learning. When Google walked up and said, okay, I want to do something called Project Neve. And we started to understand what is it about and how the entire platform is optimizing to an end goal. So we became the first brand in India that time when I was working in life insurance, and we were able to do it very successfully, drive the business on Google immediately in 2x in 3 months time. So it's not that technology can be bad, but it can be very helpful also, the way we are saying overall. Yeah. So now more than that, other than CTV, when we say about innovation, so I was capturing about the point saying that consolidation. How does consolidation helps? So when I'm targeting a group of people on that side of the table, I might be taking a spill over here. But what if I target one user across one platform and making sure the 100 users have control the frequency and everything, right? It's about controlling your frequency and controlling the awareness you want to do effective reach. So I don't want to spill over that particular audience more than 10 impressions, but here also I want to make sure that more than 10 should not go. So I started to consolidate, or digital media overall started to consolidate the technology, which is done via programmatic platforms like DV360 and others. When I say about consolidation, it has a lot of merits about how to optimize your campaign. You understand that how many impression actually serves you, or how much time you have to reach out or recall the user to get that particular ROI of your businesses. When about the measurement part of the businesses, when I say measurement has been a very crucial part since last 3 years I've been working, 4 years I've been working the client side, and it helped me to understand what kind of an audiences are there, how to control the audience's behavior from a back end, which audiences have been targeting in the right way. Last is data management, where we see the world is getting into cookieless world. You might have heard, right? There is a world which is going to come in 2023, expected. There will be no cookies at all. So all cookies will be dying. There are few things which are coming up in the market, like Google has come up with a Flock. Flock is basically federated learning of cohorts. There is a Fletch. First locally executed decision over experimental group. And there is a privacy sandbox. These are 3 jargons which have been used to make it sure that your entire targeting is in a precise way, but it is almost a cohort. So advertisers or marketers, everyone have to make it sure your first party data is intact. That is your third part of your data management, because the way you start targeting the consumer, communicating them, and individual cohort based advertising, which will help you to know that if I am targeting that person sitting there, he knows what kind of a frequency I am operating on and what kind of a communication I am running on. So that will be most important. The way digital marketing in last at least for 3 years for me has come up with, where I started to work my personal experiences with, say, programmatic as a tool is a very the spend limit is not there. If you start spending, you can spend $1 million a day also. So when you start making a script which is controlling your variables of a website, of our audiences, you start targeting and optimizing to an end goal. So technology has changed and came up to a level where we talk about traditional media planning. How many people think digital out of home is only traditional? How many people think TV is traditional? Anyone? So imagine right now in digital, I can take a campaign live with a connected TV together. I can take a digital out of home together. I can take audio files like your Spotify and others, Snapchat into the picture. I can run a campaign at one button. So we are talking about connected, entire digital connected era here. So looking at that phase, imagine right now if I want to target in futuristic way, I'm talking in next 2 years, 3 years, CTV is evolving in India, where how many people might be connected to YouTube right now? Any hands on? Everyone? So you see the ads which is on TV as well, right? Which is a connected TV. Imagine I can target you from there as well as what your listening behavior is via audio. Controlling that frequency, I can target you on website, because traditionally you could only target web and mobile. Now my devices are changing. Now Apple Watch is coming into the picture, right? So now we will expect very soon Apple Watch is also taking your data and putting your ad across you on your iOS devices or any other devices. So the things are evolving, the learning of audiences are evolving. The way digital is evolved is technology is coming a bit way ahead on the time. There are few things what my personal experiences with Google ecosystem has been always. When we say CDP, there are few jargons, customer data platforms and others. When you start bifurcating your cohort audiences, targeting, technology also comes with the time. So before COVID, no one knew how digital will evolve so faster, right? So we did evolve. The way you look at movies, before the VFX was different, now the VFX is totally different. I think I'm pretty sure many would be Marvel and DC fans here, and they see the change the DC has brought in their VFX. The same digital also brought into the picture, and I think that's next 2 years, 3 years, you'll see drastic changes happening across all the digital platforms. Yeah, I think that's all from my side. Anything else? Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks a lot.
Can we hear it once more, please? May I now invite Ms. Neha Singh from NMIMS College to please facilitate, sir. Okay. I think she's not around. May I now invite Ms. Gitika from Inkspell to do the facilitation. A huge round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the middle of the stage. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. This person whose phone was ringing, where is she? Outside? No, it's okay. I'm not going to punish or anything. Just wanted to know if everything is okay. All right. Before we move on to our next session, boys and girls, nobody gave us any feedback about tea, coffee. How was it? Nice, nice. Okay. Anybody who's already given their presentation inside and then come here? How did it go? How did it go? Ads ban gayi? Yeah? So, do you think you can work with this team ahead? No, the team which you worked with. Do you think you can actually produce an ad film with them someday?
Producing with.
Okay, same team.
Yeah, not the judges, but.
Okay. All right, so it's time to felicitate our jury members, the on-ground jury members. They might not be here right now, but then we'll announce their names and they could take the bouquets later on. So we begin with Mr. Abhishek Gupta, CMO, Edelweiss, Tokyo. Mr. Akshay Gaonkar, VP D2C, Reliance Jio. Mr. Anand Bhatia, CMO and Head Analytics, Fino Payments Bank Limited. Mr. Anurag Purohit, Head Digital Marketing, Larsen & Toubro Infotech. Mr. Ashish Mehta, Department Head, BA Films, Television and New Media Production, NMIMS. Mr. Azmat Habibullah, CMO, South Indian Bank. Yes, keep the applause going. Ms. Binda De, CMO, KKR. Charandeep Singh, Head Marketing and CRM, TVS Credit. Dr. Deepak, Assistant Professor, NMIMS. Jinal Shah, Assistant Professor, NMIMS. Kavita Jagtiani, Marketing Chief, Pidilite Industries Limited. Ms. Madhu Datta, Head of Marketing and GM Brand Media Digital Social, Raymond Limited. Mr. Mahdeep Trivedi, Head Digital Marketing, TikeInvest.com. Nivedita Parulekar, Manager, Marketing Excellence, Abbott Healthcare Private Limited. Prasad Pimple, Executive Vice President and Head, Digital Business Unit, Kodak Life. Rachita Sharma, Business Head, Athenos Digital. Raja Chakraborty, International Marketing Head, Male Grooming, Head of Marketing, South Asia, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Emami Limited. Ms. Rituraj Bidwai, Head of Digital Marketing, SHowdown Limited. My apologies, that is Mr. Rituraj Bidwai, Head of Digital Marketing, SHowdown Limited. Ms. Rubeena Singh, Country Manager, Josh. Ms. Sapna Desai, Head, Marketing and E-Commerce, ManipalCigna Health Insurance. Sharmila Sandeep, Head, Marketing, St. Gobain India Private Limited, Gaiproc Business. Shefali Khalsa, Head, Brand, Corporate Communication and CSR, SBI General Insurance. Shonali Shetty, Head, Growth Marketing, Godrej Capital. Shrishail Deshnur, Senior Director, Head, Consumer Marketing, Cipla. Sudhanshu Tripathi, VP, Head of Marketing and Growth, Quick Heal. Sushant Kamble, Proprietor Director, Crop Circles. Vishesh Sharma, CMO, Ashika Group. YOGIN VORA, Head, Digital Marketing, Z5 Global. So this was all our jury today. Please give them a huge round of applause. Who was still on top there, judging all the presentations, all the final ad films. It would be nice if the music just went on. All right. We shall now move on to the awards, and to give away the awards, may I please invite on stage Dr. Neha Singh from NMIMS to give away the awards, please. Warm welcome. Now this is from your college, guys. We need to make some more noise. Come on. Wonderful. All right, so we shall proceed now. Brand Experience and Strategy, Best 360 Integrated Brand Experience Campaign. The award goes to Mauka-e-Wardaat by Ant TV. Wow, keep the applause going, guys. Many congratulations. The next award in this category, Best Use of Print or Outdoor Campaign. The award goes to India Economic Conclave 2022. Someone here from India Economic Conclave? Never mind. Congratulations. We'll move move on to the next award. Best Customer Acquisition and Retention Campaign. The award goes to Udayan or Pexalon. Congratulations. Best Launch Relaunch Campaign. The award goes to Ek Mahanayak, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar by Ann TV. Many congratulations to you once again. The next award in this category, Best Regional Campaign. The award goes to Bal Shiv by Ann TV. You should take a permanent place here now. You should take a permanent place on the stage now. Hearty congratulations. Now in the category Best Use of Mobile and Devices, the award goes to How Pure Tech Digital Increased MAUs by 150% in 6 months for Live Mint. Many congratulations. Move on to the next slot of awards. Brand Advertising PR, Best Media Relations. The award goes to Saregama India, Bhookle. Somebody here? Never mind. Many congratulations. Best PR Entertainment. The award goes to Bhabhi Ji Ghar Pe Hai by Ann TV. Keep the applause going. Best PR Social Engagement goes to Saregama India, Bhookle. Best PR through innovative use of influencers. The award goes to Saregama India, Koi Sehri Babu. Hearty congratulations to the entire team. Best PR Launch Relaunch. The award goes to Bal Shiv by Ann TV. Sir, give us a minute. आप इतने बार स्टेज पर आ गए हैं, जरा सेंटर स्टेज पे आ जाइए इधर. अच्छा वहीं रहिए. No, we'll not speak on behalf of Ant TV. We'll just speak to you personally.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to receive so many awards?
It's always great, and in this quarter of the year, it's great because it's close to March.
Right.
A lot of stuff to enter about our achievements.
Right.
And yeah, as a channel, we have been doing innovative stuff, and we're constantly evolving. And anybody who's been a part of television, I guess before us, there was a representative of Z, and it shows, the way we are improvising, the way we are connected to a consumer, and TV is a very unique medium.
Coming to that, many television actors. Recently, Rupali Ganguly gave an interview saying that TV is never going to be dead, no matter how many web shows come up. What do you have to say about that?
See, it's a part of our lives, and it's we generally see mobile helps you to be connected. TV gives you a larger form of entertainment, is my thinking, but yeah, it's not going to be dying because larger screens haven't died as well. I guess better quality TVs, camera angles today, I'm sure there is bigger, larger scale live events happening. And the experience what you get on TV is something different. Yeah, technology is evolving, but TV is here to stay, and it's clearly showing that the amount of awards we are winning. So yeah.
Wow. What did you have for lunch today?
I didn't eat anything today, I just slept through.
You definitely need the exercise. Congratulations once again. No, I'm saying that because you didn't have lunch, so, you know, everything goes hand in hand. The next award, Best PR through Content Creation and Production. It goes to Saregama India, Pani Pani. Alright, they're not here, but congratulations. In the category Advertising, stay ma'am, please. In the category Advertising Traditional, Best Traditional Media Integrated Campaign again goes to Balshiv Bayan TV. Okay, all I can give away is that there are more awards to come in this category. So where you're seated is, yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. The next award, Best Traditional Campaign Healthcare. It goes to Flavdon OD 80mg Launch Experience. Oh wow! Many people from the team seem to be here. Wonderful, wonderful. Whoa, many congratulations. Yes, we need to applaud. Wonderful, nice to see the team over here. Guys, I can tell you from experience that we get the best pictures when we get the best applause. So please keep the applause going. Would you like to say something? Mike. 1 second. Just sorry to kill the moment.
Right, so just thanks to AdWorld and Expel for giving us this platform, because what we saw was a lot of awards for the traditional channels like advertising on the television, but pharmaceutical industry has its own challenges. We have our own limitations in the channels that we use. So whatever that we have done, thanks again to Expel for recognizing that and giving us this platform to Survey India for receiving this award. Thank you so much.
Many congratulations to you once again. The next award, Best Traditional Campaign OOH. It goes to और भाई क्या चल रहा है बयान टीवी. अब मुझे डर लग रहा है सर, इधर ही मुझसे ही आके पूछेंगे और भाई क्या चल रहा है. The next award, Best Traditional Campaign Nation Building. It goes to India Economic Conclave 2022. Many congratulations. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us and giving away the awards. It's now time for the panel discussion on the topics Key Trends Predicted for Digital Storytelling in 2023. How do brands truly engage their audience and customers and break through the noise in 2023? Our power panel of experts will share their tips and tricks. Our moderator this evening, first and foremost, also the seating arrangement for our panelists, please. I think we can begin to do that. Okay, now our hall seems to be getting fuller. Take a look around, guys. The seating arrangement for our panel discussion. All right, so before the panelists come onto stage and give us whatever, today I think I've told you all a couple of times that I found very intelligent audience over here, right? Whatever questions I had, I mean, everybody just answered in a jiffy. But let's try this. Let's just try for the heck of it. Whose tagline is this? Listen carefully, huh? The original. If your grandfather hadn't worn it, you wouldn't exist. I'll give you options. Durex, Aeropostale, Nike, Old Spice. Really? Sure? Chalo, aap log bolte ho. Since you all are an intelligent audience, I'll believe it. Okay. Wonderful. Old Spice is known for their creative ads, and I hope most of you all go and get to work for them someday, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah? Okay, I don't see much into you. All right. Chalo, how many Rakul Preet fans in the house? No? Yes? No? Come on, guys. I see such big grins on your faces and you all are telling me you all are not Rakul Preet fans. Can't be. Someone said go on. Acha, sir is a fan. Oh wow, wonderful, sir. Chaliye. Okay. Guess who I am? I was very prominently used in the 90s. I am the OG of all skincare. Popular actress Rakul Preet was my brand ambassador a decade ago. What is my name? She was their brand ambassador a decade ago. Ah, can't be. Can't be, you guys don't know. No Googling, yahan pe anyway network nahi hai.
Vico?
Yeah, it's Vico. Who said that? Kahan se aayi awaaz? Oh, wonderful. You knew?
Yes.
What's your good name?
Arjuman Sheikh from Pure Tech Digital.
क्या बात, Pure Tech Digital. Had to be. जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं.
Thank you.
So all Rakul Preet fans in the house now know she was there even a decade ago. And she looked as gorgeous. अच्छा, ये किसका टैगलाइन है? ये बड़ा इजी है. शुरुआत सही तो दिन सही. Guys, नहीं दूंगी ऑप्शंस. बहुत शाणे हो आप लोग. हाँ? It's Kellogg's. It's Kellogg's. Give yourself a huge round of applause, girl. It is Kellogg's. What's your name? You knew, Tanya? Wow. Round of applause for Tanya, please. Acha. Now, who was here in the first session? The morning session at around 12 o'clock when we started here. Nobody was here? You this. How wonderful. All right. So I did something very, very intimate and I'll do it again now because we have more audience. Guess what this is? ये किसका slogan था या किसके ad में use किया गया था? बुलंद भारत की बुलंद आवाज़. ऐसे नहीं होएगा यार, सुर में. मैं बेसुरा हूँ पर आप लोग सुर में गा सकते हो. बुलंद भारत की बुलंद आवाज़. यार चाय कॉफी वेस्ट ना करो. हमारा बजाज. Okay, news is that our jury is done with the evaluation. They'll be here any moment and then we can finally honor them in person. Yes, we'll also by the end of today know who won the awards. So that's beautiful. That is latest news. So the teams who are already here, who actually made the ad films, tensed, excited, how is it? Or okay, took up one story, made a story. How is it? How do you feel right now? Anybody wants to share? Okay, Seedhi Baat, do you think you will win the award? Yes? Who says yes? Arey, show me your hands here, I can't see. Who said yes? Okay, I hope all of you win. That would be the best. That would be ideal.
Just remove him, call him on stage, he'll be felicitating other people. ठीक है? Call him. I would request Mr. Vora to come on stage.
All right, our jury is here, and very soon they'll be here with us on stage. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, may I request Mr. YOGIN, VORA, Head Digital Marketing, Z5 Global, to please come onto the stage to do the felicitation, please. Mr. VORA is here. May I request you to please come onto the stage, sir, to do the felicitation. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. YOGIN VORA. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. And it's time to now do the honors. First and foremost, our jury, Mr. Abhishek Gupta, CMO, Edelweiss, Tokyo. Keep the music going, please. All right. Looks like Mr. Gupta is on the way. Our jury, Mr. Akshay Gankar, VP D2C, Reliance Jio. Keep the applause going for Mr. Akshay Gankar. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Our next jury member, Mr. Anand Bhatia, CMO and Head Analytics, Pino Payments Bank Limited. enjoyed Mr. Bhatia's session, right guys? Make some more noise for him, please. Come on. Thank you, sir. It was wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. Coming up next, our jury member, Mr. Anurag Purohit, Head Digital Marketing, Larsen and Turbo Infotech. Yes, please keep the applause going. Thank you so much. Coming up next, our jury member, Mr. Ashish Mehta, Department Head, BA Films, Television and New Media Production, NMIMS. Looks like he is here right now. Moving on to our next jury member, Mr. Azmat Habibullah, CMO, South Indian Bank. My apologies, this is Ms. Azmat Habibullah. Warm welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Keep the applause going, guys. Thank you so much, ma'am. Binda De, CMO, KKR. Warm welcome, ma'am. So nice to have you here this evening. Keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful, wonderful. Our next jury member, Charandeep Singh, Head Marketing and CRM, TBS Credit. Make some noise for Mr. Charandeep Singh. Warm welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Our next jury member, Dr. Deepak, Assistant Professor, NMIMS. It's not here? Alright. Our next jury member is Jeenal Shah, Assistant Professor, NMIMS. Alright, Shah is here. Keep the applause going. Warm welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Our next jury member, Ms. Kavita Jagtiani, Marketing Chief, Pidilite Industry Limited. Alright, looks like she's not here this evening. Our next jury member, Madhu Datta, Head of Marketing and GM Brand Media Digital Social, Raymond Limited. Warm welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Keep the applause going, guys. Our next jury member, Mr. Mahit Trivedi, Head Digital Marketing, TikeInvest.com. Warm welcome, sir. Our next jury member is Nivedita Parulekar, Manager, Marketing Excellence, AdWorld Healthcare Private Limited. Looks like she's not here. Our next jury member Prasad Pimple, Executive Vice President and Head, Digital Business Unit, Kotak Life. Moving on, calling upon our next jury member, Rachita Sharma, Business Head, Ecommerce Digital. Calling upon our next jury member, Raja Chakraborty, International Marketing Head, Male Grooming, Head of Marketing, South Asia, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Emami Limited. Warm welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Give some applause for you guys. Calling upon our next jury member, Rituraj Bidwai, Head of Digital Marketing, SHowdown Limited. Warm welcome, sir. Lovely smiles there on the stage. Wonderful. Our next jury member, Ms. Rubeena Singh, Country Manager, Josh. Oh wow, man is here. With the kiddo coming up on stage. Make some noise, please. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Wonderful, wonderful. Our next jury member, Ms. Sapna Desai, Head, Marketing and E-Commerce, ManipalCigna Health Insurance. Yes, make some noise for Ms. Sapna Desai. Warm welcome. Our next jury member, Sharmila Sandeep, Head, Marketing, St. Coben India Private Limited, Gaiproc Business. Warm welcome. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Calling upon our next jury member, Shefali Khalsa, Head Brand, Corporate Communication and CSR, SBI General Insurance. Calling upon our next jury member, Shonali Shetty, Head Growth Marketing, Godrej Capital. Our next jury member, Shrishail Deshnur, Senior Director, Head Consumer Marketing, Cipla. Sir is here. Warm welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Very warm welcome. Our next jury member, Sudhanshu Tripathi, VP, Head of Marketing and Growth, Quick Heal. Not here? Alright. Mr. Sushant Kamble, Proprietor, Director, Crop Circles. Never mind. Mr. Vishesh Sharma, CMO, Ashika Group. Alright. That's that. I think we really need to give it up for Mr. VORA. Thank you so much for being so patient. Thank you so very much. And now it's time for our panel discussion. And before our panelists come up on stage, we'll take 5 minutes so that the chairs can be put down here. The seating arrangement can be done. Just a reminder, our panel discussion is going to be on the topic, how do brands truly engage their audience and customers and break through the noise in 2023? Our power panel of experts will share their tips and tricks. So, we saw a lot of jury members here, right? And we saw them in person, in flesh and blood. And when many of us will now go in, get jobs, move ahead in life, many of the students I'm talking about, ये लोग याद रहेंगे, right? ये शायद हमें याद नहीं रखें because ये लोग बड़ी हस्तियां हैं, पर हमें ये लोग याद रहेंगे. Something about their personality, when we see them in flesh and blood, always remains with us. And they are such powerful personalities that just their vibe, we imbibe just from their vibes. So for this wonderful jury, guys and girls, please give it up once for them. I think it's amazing that we get to see and learn in person. That's that. And it's time for our panel discussion like I just mentioned. May I now call upon our moderator first and foremost, Mr. Rituraj Bidwai, Head of Digital Marketing, ex-Sobha Limited. Sir, before you come up on stage, let me tell everybody a little more about you. A decade of experience in marketing and brand communication with specialization in digital, astute understanding of various digital marketing channels coupled with solid technical knowledge gives him an edge in implementing brand-related campaigns derived from the overall business objectives. Data is an integral part of his work style, ensuring a fair balance of execution and result KPIs important for any strategy to be successful. Some of his relevant areas of core strengths are digital strategy in search, user experience on web and mobile, analytics mapping on search and social channels, user journey management, SEM, SEO, ECRM, media planning and performance marketing. Please put your hands together for Mr. Rituraj Bidwai. Warm welcome, sir. Yes, you can take your seat. I think you should take the best seat possible because you're going to be the moderator. Let me introduce our panelists. Mr. Charandeep Singh, Head Marketing and CRM, TVS Credit. Mr. Charandeep Singh heads Marketing and CRM function at TVS Credit. He is an agricultural engineer from Punjab Agricultural University and holds an MBA degree in marketing from Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai. With over 15 years of experience in marketing, sales, CRM and strategy across BFSI and automotive companies, he has led various initiatives in brand communication, market research, digital business analytics and customer relationship management. He has been instrumental in developing the new brand identity of TVS Credit, leading to a new visual identity system and repositioning of the brand in line with changing business requirements. Please bring your hands together for Mr. Singh. Warm welcome, sir. I would now like to introduce our next panelist, Mr. Raja Chakraborty, International Marketing Head, Male Grooming and Head of Marketing South Asia, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Emami Limited, a passionate consumer marketer and business enthusiast with 2 decades of experience across the consumer goods sector with companies like Raymond, PepsiCo, Bayer, Nerolac and currently working as Marketing Head, SARC NSEA and Global P&L Head, Male Grooming at Emami's International Business. He has played a key role in building many brands across categories like Park Avenue, Nerolac, Babool, Miswak, Odonil and Odomos. He likes to build training content for budding marketeers and loves watching movies and is an amateur singer. Wow. Warm welcome, sir. Our next panelist this evening, Ms. Rubeena Singh, Country Manager, Josh. With an illustrious career building and scaling media businesses across digital, print and broadcast, Ms. Rubeena is currently the country manager of Josh, a seasoned professional with over 21 years of rich experience and knowledge in business and product development, digital marketing, relationship management and advertising sales. Rubeena's role involves shaping and expanding the content monetization model at Josh. Started her career at Star TV working with the sales team, but spent a large part of her career at Network 18, where she spearheaded the launch of CNBC Awaaz, Forbes India and Money Control, her first tryst with the world of digital media. Please bring your hands together for Ms. Singh. Warm welcome. I think you all can take your seats now. No point standing there, yeah? Please take your seats. Calling upon our next panelist, Ms. Sapna Desai, Head Marketing and E-Commerce at ManipalCigna Health Insurance. Sapna is responsible for developing and implementing the overall marketing and brand strategy to drive the growth agenda for the organization. She leads the consumer insights, online sales, brand strategy and media, corporate communication, channel and digital marketing functions. Before joining ManipalCigna, she was responsible for providing strategic direction and leadership for financial brands at Ogilvy Advertising, Mumbai. She has also worked across service industries including ING Life Insurance, Indian School of Businesses and BPL Mobile in various marketing roles. Sapna has rich experience in all aspects of direct mass and digital marketing. Besides having managed some of the largest and respected brands, she is a commerce graduate with an MBA. Warm welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Our next panelist this evening, Mr. Shrishail Deshnur, Senior Director, Head, Consumer Marketing, Cipla. Shrishail is a marketing professional with over 18 years of experience across categories of consumer products, financial services and pharma. Currently, he heads the consumer marketing function at Cipla and is instrumental in spearheading the company's largest consumer awareness initiative. In his previous stint, he was heading the marketing function for the stationery business at Bidwai. Earlier in his career, he has worked with Berger Paints, ICICI Prudential, MetLife and Kotak Life. Shrishail is a foodie and a self-proclaimed movie critic. He loves to drive and play cricket with his 9-year-old son during his free time. Warm welcome to you, sir. Give them a huge round of applause. All our panelists are over here. I'd now like to hand it over to Mr. Dwivedi. Mr. Bidwai, all yours.
Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the panel. It's an absolute honor to share the stage with you. Give it up for the wonderful audience who has made it for this specific panel, and we saw some great pitches. Really love the enthusiasm of of students who thought through from a consumer's perspective and also from a brand owner's perspective. So all in all, very good job. Really happy. I will straight away jump into the conversation. First and foremost, we are talking a lot about content being the main the mainstream aspect of things when it comes to digital or any media for that matter. Now digital has become mainstream and majority of brands are focusing on it, which is a really good part. But there are a couple of aspects. So for example, what is good content, right? And what I have been able to get is aesthetically imperfect content that resonates and gets to the heart of the matter is what's winning right now. All right, and it is not about perfection anymore, which is really good, which basically means that we can show vulnerability, we can show real emotions, we can show real people from real life, and that's the kind of content that maybe consumers want to look at when it comes to storytelling part of things. So I want to throw the question open first to Sapna and then to Raja, and then we'll see how the panel goes.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Really glad to be here, on this Saturday evening with, my panelists and everyone. And it's a very interesting topic, that we're going to spend time on today. To take the conversation forward, on your question, I think in terms of content, some of the experiences of what we are seeing right now, I thought we'll just kind of start with that. Content and storytelling really is about consumers. So as consumers evolve, content and storytelling, moves forward. So if consumers are using more short format content, memes, brands will kind of follow that or to be part of those conversations. So I think that's like the shift that we are seeing, at the present stage. And I'm sure with things moving so rapidly, it's going to keep changing. I mean, the fast pace of content evolution is something that's, we have to be prepared for. Something's working today, something will work tomorrow. And we need to really keep, pace with that. I think that's one. The second thing is really about the medium where people are consuming content. And that itself is changing. So, print was where people used to read content, move to television, OTT, on your mobile, so your consumption of the medium is changing. So again, content and the kind of content that you produce will move with that. You know, with AR, VR, the new technologies will always propel you to kind of make different format and medium of content. I think that's the other point. And I think the third thing really is about, in terms of content and storytelling, is that with technology, you know, everybody's become a content creator. So, you know, where it used to be like, you know, a few teams making content, now, you know, I'm sure in this room.
We call it creator economy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you ask a question, there'll be flow of hands on, you know, who's an influencer, what kind of page do they have, what food blogging, travel. So, you know, I think content creation is moving into the hands of people. So the user generated kind of content, I think, is something that we are all trying to grapple with and understand. Yeah, I think that's really, I would kind of put three things: format, medium, and the third point would be the user generated or content creation. And maybe the fourth one is, I think, the influence of languages. You know, I think that's, I mean, I just recently read one EY report. I mean, I think it was about, you know, with the OTT, if the content in regional languages has moved by over 20 to 30% in the last 2 years. So a lot more regional content. And that's something interesting.
I think that's the opportunity area for all the content creators, because it is just like you know what I was mentioning at the start of the panel. It is imperfection,
Right.
and for real people. And yeah, I think so. Yeah, Rubeena, I have a question for you. I'm saving it for, you know, a little later.
I can throw a lot of light on that.
so I mean, yeah, I'm coming to that, but I'll be saving it for later. You know, before so Shrishail, I want to come to you, but first I want to understand Raja's you know, perspective on international content, because he has delved a lot, you know, in that space. And Raja, we want to understand, you know, from you that as far as international market is concerned, what kind of different dimensions actually came to you as a challenge, because storytelling is really difficult for different markets.
Hello. Yeah. So I think first I want to, you know, Sapna, right? Yeah, what she was saying. I just want to add to that because, you know, on one hand, of course, at Emami, you know, I'm handling the SAARC and Southeast Asia, diverse set of countries. You know, there is a country like Sri Lanka which is going through massive economic downturn. There is no electricity. How it is impacting digital, you know, consumption over television. So, you know, it's a country now where television is actually on a declining because people don't have electricity at home, and they are watching content on digital only. And then, you know, there is a country like Burma where there is a civil war going on, and actually there is internet ban, but still the maximum consumption that is happening is of internet, because people don't believe on television anymore because it's all you know, government sponsored. So depending on the country, the consumption is very different, but one trend which is very, very, you know, consistent is that in fact in international markets, even in a market like Bangladesh, digital is the highest consumed, I would say, media. And one of the reasons behind this is also that in a lot of these countries, the content on television, which is there in India, is very high and very good, is not that good. So in many of these countries, people actually watch Indian content when it comes to television and for brands, but there is no advertising because Indian content is going, but without advertising, which means that for brands to acquire consumers, you have to depend on digital. But before coming to that, I have also been seeing, because I also, you know, consult a lot of startups, you know, startups which are incubating. I keep seeing, I think one of the things in content is also that it is based on which category you are, and most importantly, how much money you have, okay, and what is your objective. So is your objective to engage the consumer into your brand story, or is your objective is consumer acquisition? And that's where I think what I am observing is that whether it is static content or video content, it's far more direct. You know, it's not like the typical television advertising जहाँ पे, you know, आपने 40 सेकंड का ad बनाया, उसमें पहले आपने context set किया, फिर आपने problem बताई, फिर उसका solution बताया, और फिर एक sign off आया. You watch a country delight kind of a, you know, communication. it's very unlike communication that, you know, we all from our older days, you know, which we are used to making. It's very different. You know, you can just shoot it on a mobile phone and it's a very direct communication. Somebody is telling ki Country Delight ka doodh bada acha hai, you know, and that's content. People are consuming it, and you know they are clicking and they are, you know, downloading the app. So I think one of the things is also in imperfect content is, I would say, it is a very unlike the content that we see on TV and all this kind of stuff. It is far more direct also nowadays. So it depends upon what's your objective. You know, whether you are looking at direct consumer acquisition, I think their direct content is possibly, you know, being utilized a lot, and it is also possibly because that many brands, startups do not have that kind of money. So if you don't have that kind of money, you don't, you know, invest in making content which requires a lot of money. So coming to international market, as I already said, that, you know, digital is the highest consumed, and you know, I just give you an example of Sri Lanka, where because people are not able to watch television, they are watching the same content on YouTube. So therefore, the investment in these countries, SAARC, Southeast Asia, in Southeast Asia, if I leave out, you know, the developed markets like, you know, Malaysia and Singapore, and even developing countries like Indonesia, where also digital is far bigger than television now, because people over there are completely consumed by digital. But even in the less developed countries like Sri Lanka, Burma, Bangladesh, the maximum investment that we are making is even for consumer awareness, not even you know, for just for acquisition, is on digital, is on YouTube. Burma, for example, the highest consumed media is Facebook. In fact, in Burma, they say that Facebook is Google, because the only thing, because on YouTube you can't advertise, it's banned over there. The highest consumed media is Facebook. So whether you want to spend on video content, you want to spend on static media, but brands like us who are operating in these markets, you can't live without digital. So that's, I would say, is the big trend. The other aspect is that a lot of content which used to be on television is now on YouTube, and the viewership of those content is as high or sometimes more than what you find on television, and hence it is more effective advertising on specific content inside YouTube, unlike, you know, taking just skippable or unskippable ads, you know, in any general content. You can actually advertise just like you advertise on television. So those are some of the, I would say, you know, trends that at least I have observed, and how digital is becoming like the most prominent media for a company like ours in these markets.
Well, that gives a testament that overall content is becoming a key aspect as far as the acquisition is concerned. But apart from that, what I really liked is you are actually investing in the content awareness part of things also, because that will give you conversions, you know, a little later. What used to happen is that matrix of whether that particular awareness is connecting to, you know, acquisition was missing before. But now it is possible, and I think that is the reason that is pushing you know, these platforms like you have Google or a Facebook, where they are focusing. For example, the Performance Max campaign which Google has come up with, or video action campaigns that they have come up with, is purely coming from the perspective that the video adoption of content across different you know, segments, across different continents, and especially developing countries, because that is their testing ground. If it works there, then it, you know, they will take and dimensionalize it and then launch it in, you know, developed countries. But that is a testament that content is becoming key as far as the acquisition aspect is concerned. Coming to you, Shrishail, very interesting sector and difficult. So it will be really good to know what challenges you were able to come up, you were able to overcome, and how do you see 2023 content storytelling, you're helping your segment?
See, in my mind, I think there are three aspects to it, right? One is the need, right? How has the need evolved over the last few decades, okay? At the core of it, maybe the needs are still the same, right? But as the evolution has happened, possibly you've added more layers to the need, right? Just about I need it and therefore I need to use it and therefore I need to buy it too. Can I buy the right thing, and can it be not just good for me but good for everybody else around me? Okay, so that's how possibly the need has evolved. Second is again the relevance of how do I really connect and make my appeal as a brand or a category right now. And third, possibly the area that you need to look at is the consumption format, okay, of how media is changing. So if you look at these three dimensions, while all the evolution has happened on all the three aspects, but maybe evolution has happened more so, let's say, in the media consumption formats, right? In fact, what was relevant last year is maybe not relevant today. Forget last decade, right? But the need per se, if you look at it, or the relevance per se, if you look at it, the evolution may not have been that much, right? Of course, it's moved for sure. So therefore, if you look at, you still, like, I'll give you an example of how we look at from a pharma category, right? Empathy and care still holds good. Was there 50 years back, holds good even today as we speak. But when you look at it, it's more about now creating more credibility, right? So when it comes to storytelling, not just the brand, now can others come in and build more to your storytelling, which adds to credibility, and therefore the user generated content becomes that much more critical than just what the brand speak is today, right? I think those are the kind of things that we'll have to look at. Of course, changing formats, how do you really bring in the influencers, not just the regular users of this, right? Also being very socially responsible. Now, few categories are easy, you're saying I am the best or I am better than X, so buy me is an easier thing. Like the milk example you gave me, you just have to be at that core appeal.
You just have to be real.
Yeah, but here in this case, maybe some categories, and as you said, pharma is a little more complex on that front. You need to be far more socially responsible, possibly a little more than what other categories need to be today, because the implications are far larger and immediate than as compared to the other things. So therefore, a few more dynamics and complexities do come in when we look at a category like pharma. But overall, if you look at it, the trends and how the evolution has happened, I think what is relevant to other categories holds true to pharma also today.
I think you still have one of the very difficult jobs as far as the segment is concerned. I'm just going to reiterate that.
I will take you to my boss. Appraisal is due now.
Rubeena, I'm going to come to you next, but before I'm going to go to Charan, but I just want to, say, one thing. These are your words, that social media is 1, to educate, don't sell. 2, think about what would people like to share. 3, focus on building a community. We'll come back to that. But I want to go to, Charan ji here. As far as augmented reality is concerned, because see, the one major question which all the brand managers or the brand owners have is that how do people become part of the content? Okay. And one aspect which is coming up is augmented reality, virtual reality. Obviously, there are a lot of questions about it. But Charanji, I just want to understand from your perspective, for your organization or for your segment per se, how do you feel that space is moving as far as storytelling is concerned?
No, so before I get into AR part of it, firstly, you started with the question, what's a good storytelling? And while everybody talked about it, some things which I wanted to add from the financial services sector point of view is that, authenticity, what you defined as aesthetically imperfect, right? I don't know whether aesthetically perfect cannot be authentic, but the content has to be very authentic, and to have that, there are 2 important elements, and that will be the segue to the next part of the answer. One is that you have to have a story first with you. What is your brand story? What is the purpose of your brand? If you don't have a well-defined purpose, you can always come across as somebody giving a cheaper loan, faster loan, right? That's what anyways our product is highly commoditized. So second part is what is the consumer insight, which you are targeting in your storytelling, which is solving that problem, and therefore the larger purpose is encompassing that, right? So for being a part of NBFC industry, we don't give very cheap loans, right? Because the customers are relatively riskier. So therefore, these are the customers who generally are credit starved. So your loans actually help them earn their livelihoods, right? They enable them to do better in lives. So that insight coupled with your brand purpose, I think becomes a good storytelling. Now coming to AR, it is very fashionable these days to talk about it, but I feel that the earlier use cases of which I have seen is largely in the spaces where there was already some kind of immersive experience, whether it is gaming, to some extent apparels, or let's say entertainment, those areas we are seeing some early use cases. But in industries like ours, loans, auto, as of now it is a very nascent trend, and I don't know how it will pan out. I also feel that the equipment or the infra required around this is still very less penetrated in the markets. But what kind of case studies we are looking at in our industries is that how to give customer a better branch experience through AR. That means he does not need to travel to your place. So can you make that more immersive? And if that happens, can there be also some purchase journey which can be done there? So those kind of use cases are being evaluated in auto industry and auto finance industry. So as of now, that's what we are looking at. And I don't know whether AR will play a big role in storytelling, but as some of the panelists mentioned, user-generated content, now whether it happens through AR, how it will happen, I don't know. But that UGC through AR might play a very big role. So that's like crystal ball gazing, I might be totally wrong. Yeah.
Very pertinent inputs, Chanjit. Thank you so much for that. And yes, I think as far as the augmented reality and virtual reality piece is concerned, yeah.
Just wanted to add one more thing, that I think again, I'll give you an example. A few years back, I was actually kind of thinking of investing in real estate. And I went to this place which is Lodha Palava, And this is like 6, 7, 8 years back. And the kind of, I don't know whether you call it AR, VR, but the kind of, sort of virtual reality that they created actually was very compelling, because you can show a simple film. Typically you go to a real estate guy, he will show you a film. But they actually kind of showed you that, okay, this is where a highway is going to come. This is, this is the entire territory. And I think, therefore, the point that I'm trying to make, that it really depends upon the category where it will make a compelling reason for the consumer to shift his behavior. Otherwise, in a hair color kind of a category, it's generic. It is not going to shift.
So in real estate parlance, because I'm from real estate,
exactly.
It's called location story. Rubeena is smiling, so so it's called location story. So there are usually in real estate there are 3 types of stories. So one is location story, one is amenities, and the third one is all about community and all of that. So your interiors mainly. So drawing from that example, actually when I was with SHowdown, we did an augmented reality ad for SHowdown for one of their projects. So mainly where what you can do is basically that's a top of the funnel ad, and the entire AR filter is deployed through your Spark AR ecosystem. So mainly it is very simple. You click on it and it gives you options. Do you want to see kitchen, living space, living room, bedroom? That's it. You click on it and basically what happens is you're there. It just puts you in that space and you just move around. It will show you that exactly how the space is. That's top of the funnel. So if you do those kind of experiences in AR, as far as real estate as a category, makes sense. But drawing on what he was saying, that for BFSI we don't know how, or NBFC, as a category per se, how the immersion will happen. Because frankly speaking, if we look at why adoption of phones was really good in India, one big example, is mainly because data became cheap. All right, later on it became affordable. It's going to be the same story. All right, it's all about what kind of mechanism is actually going to fuel that consumption. All right. So very recently I saw, one of my colleague from my circle was actually testing a headset, for his phone, and it was actually a cricket, app, cricket, game, and that particular headset, I'll not tell the name of the company, but apparently that particular headset it's really light. It is in the affordable segment, and that company may launch it very soon. So it will be interesting to see after that how things change, but it is going to be all about adoption and how affordable, that particular segment, when it comes to adoption, is concerned. Now, coming to, Rubeena, so about Josh, so the kind of content that, you do, all right, it comes from, so this is again, your words, that we have found our calling for causes such as mental health, youth, and skilling. climatic action, and gender and inclusivity. All the points, all the topics are really hard hitting, okay? And they are very close and very intimate for certain group of people, all right? How do you maneuver that space when it comes to storytelling? Because see, I mean, the platforms are changing, the way in which the consumption happening is changing, the time duration is changing, and also the way in which the delivery of that content is happening is changing. Now, you want to keep this at the core of your overall existence as far as the organization and the overall content ecosystem is concerned, and still maneuver this entire space. How does that happen? I mean, that will be interesting to know.
Yeah, before I get to that, I just have a question. I was just thinking when I was hearing all the panelists, and I'm going to put the audience to work as well. I was trying to think, when did I start seeing branded content or advertising, if we call it in simple language, right? I remember the number of channels that existed when I first started watching television. There were 2. So you can tell my age, I'm a 40+ person. There was DD and DD Metro. Anybody else? Show of hands. Okay. Yeah, some of you, there are 2 channels. How many of you can think of 30+ channels? Then I can guess your age. Yeah, okay. All the 80s kids are here, right? And guessed it right? And the others who didn't raise their hand, I'm assuming that they can't even catch. They can't even catch the number of channels or number of platforms that are available to them to view content or consume content, as we call it in today's date, right? One thing I think has stayed constant amongst all this evolution, nobody likes ads. Anybody who likes ads? My daughter's sitting in the audience and she says, "Mom, you have the worst job. Why do you interrupt the experience by putting in ads?" Anybody likes ads in the audience? Raise your hands. Okay, 1 person. Okay, you're kind to the industry. But I think let's look at it. Let's fast forward today and see what is happening. How many of you, again, show of hands, how many of you are on social media? Everybody, right? Come on, yeah. Okay. How many of you post on social media? Everybody, right? Yeah. How many of you have shared a picture of you on social media? Okay. How many of you have ever shared a video on social media? All of us, almost all of us, right? How many of you have ever noticed something about a brand and shared it on social media? See, a lot of us. So it's become 360-degree again, right? From brands trying to create content, tell stories, to the consumers now coming and living those stories, right? So it's moved from storytelling to story living is what I'll say. So I think that's the age that we live in currently. So that's my first point. Coming to your point, and that's why you alluded to my earlier point on social media, and that's why I say educate and do not try and sell to the audience, and therefore that's how you will build communities, right? To your point about speaking about issues which concern the society today. Again, what we believe is we are at the cusp of this whole change in culture. Right? I told you my age, I'm a 40+ person. When I grew up, the first time I traveled overseas was in my first job when I was 20+. Today, I feel a lot of people who are less than half my age may not have traveled, but are so well exposed to the world around and what is happening there. Right? You don't necessarily need to travel and to know what is going on there. Right? Digital has broken boundaries, has opened up minds. The other point is, when I was growing up, if my mother ever said that, "Rubeena, this is what is to be done," and anybody who was born in my times, we would say, "Yes, mom, yes, dad," right? We didn't have the guts to argue. And my daughter's here in the audience. I have a hard time. I get questioned all the time because she speaks her mind. She questions me. And I think she's bold enough to be able to think, and like everybody in this age, to be able to, put their point of view forward. Right? So that's how the whole culture is changing. The other thing is that, when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, we were very influenced by this Western culture. I'm not saying today, the generation today, the young people today are not influenced by the Western culture, but at the same point in time, I think they embrace a lot of the Indian culture. They're very proud to be who they are, and of their culture, their values, the languages they speak.
They're very real.
They're very real. Yeah.
They take pride in being real.
Absolutely. So real people telling real stories, speaking about real causes. And, they're not afraid to put themselves out there, share a part of their lives and speak their minds. So they're what I say is they're proudly over the top than the generation of today. And that's why we take to causes like this to answer your question. Because I think the people today want to speak about it. They want a platform which helps you give a voice to what you want to talk about. And that's what we do at Josh. Apart from, having the ABCDE of short video, which is the having action, being bold, having the comedy, having the emotion, and the drama. Apart from that, we also stand for causes, some of which you listed out. So that's where we are at Josh.
Really inspirational, piece, Rubeena. Yes, Sapna.
Yeah, really interesting, Rubeena, and I really liked the phrase of storytelling to story living, and so very valid, and the current generation. Just wanted to add one more perspective to it, because along with all this bold and speaking your mind, for brands, there's also a caveat, which is we need to tread really carefully. Like if you really, this whole boycott culture, and especially with the, like for example, the whole Mama Earth thing going on like right now, boycott Mama Earth. So I think even as brands kind of play a role in these conversations by putting yourself out there, I think especially, for some categories maybe, it's a very thin line. And I think it's a learning on how to maneuver that line, or a training to maneuver the line for brands, that while you participate in these conversations, where is, you just don't know how they can move. You don't have that control. I think the key word is control. Because if you give the power in the hands of the consumer and you do the lot of storytelling, which is story living, you're also handing back a lot of control. Yeah,
And that's as far as learning for brands is concerned.
Something very nuanced that brands will learn. Yeah, but
Correct. No, so for us, as far as brand owners are concerned, it is, even doubly more, challenging, because then you need to straddle the line very clearly, that which causes you will associate yourself, what's the ethos of your brand, how does the cause gravitate towards your brand score, and how the communication lands on the consumers. So that is a very different ball game altogether, considering all the aspects which are happening and how the things will happen in 2023. Just want to bring one aspect to the light, and want to have each panel member's opinion on it. I think we are running short on time. That's what I was told. So we have maybe another 7 to 10 minutes, but want to bring this point up. So mainly we are talking about creator economy. That's what got talked about, right? And creator economy nowadays is fueled with they collaborate amongst each other to actually create surprise and delight. They are not afraid of trying new things. All right, they are mainly focused on producing content for their audience, and they come from the place of area of expertise. They know that they have that area of expertise, and that's the reason they create the kind of content they create for their audience without being afraid. Right now, what I figured when I was looking at the overall storytelling aspect of things, and it goes back to what we can actually relate when you say story films come to your mind, correct? And when you talk about storytelling, there are 4 pillars which I found. And obviously, would like to know your perspectives. So first pillar is unforgettable characters. Second is compelling plot. Third is some form of social commentary, and fourth is populist entertainment with broad appeal. Okay, so these are few pillars according to me, but I want to understand from each of the panelists, how does these pillars, when you look at it from the creator economy perspective, will change in 2023, or do you really think it's just going to continue. If we can go in the same order if that is okay. I will take Charan's perspective on it first.
I mean, this question was very long, so let me first understand what you want to know. So you are saying that there is a certain way of storytelling. It has to have certain components. I will like to take this question a little differently, right? I feel, I mean, from the times of Shakespeare, there is a hero's journey which a hero has to take. In this case, brand is the hero. So the storytelling has to have the components of that there has to be an obstacle or a problem which this guy is solving or the brand is solving, and there has to be a result out of it which is delight of the customer in our case. So maybe some of the elements you mentioned, that there has to be a character, there has to be a populist trend or entertainment piece in it, might be true, but if this arc or the hero's journey is not complete, then it is difficult to narrate a story, is my personal opinion, and that's what makes a good story. But then something also is happening in the digital world, right? So let's say I have a different formats, right? I put out a film telling my brand story on, let's say, YouTube or any other social media channel, and it's taking a macro position of, let's say, we empower you, or we give you the control of your finances, something like that. And then the app notification is telling something else, right? The tonality, the kind of notifications which go, they are very focused on the transactional elements, right? Oh, you can get processing fees waiver, which happens, right? It's very common. So there is a disconnect, right? So you can't narrate the whole story in that notification or the app message. But how do you do? I think in today's list of brands which I follow, I think Zomato does a good job of it, right? They have a quirky tonality on their social media. They maintain the same tonality in their notification programs. So I think that's where also brands will find that storytelling may not necessarily you will always get to do all components in the same format, right? So how do you bring the elements in different channels, right? Are people able to link that? How do you have a consistency in what you communicate through SMS, WhatsApp, your service channels? So I think that whole is the story, and not, let's say, one film or one particular piece of content.
And anchoring it together so that it lands correctly at each channel in a correct manner is a key.
Yeah.
All right. Raja?
I think, of course, I have all my life been in the business of selling brands. So, like Rubeena, who has been talking about creating content, and she actually said that, ads people don't watch, but at the end of the day, I think as long as humankind has been there, आप दुकान में जाके कुछ ना कुछ तो खरीदते हो because you have needs. Okay. The problem with the brands is that consumer is evolving, their way of their media consumption is changing, the content that they are consuming is changing. I myself, earlier used to, maybe years back, सिर्फ मेरे घर में भी वही दो ही चैनल आते थे और मैं महाभारत और रामायण देखता था. But for last 6-7 years in my home there has been no television channel because I have TV, but I have Amazon, whatever, so what is changing is the kind of content you are consuming and the media that you are consuming. So from a brand standpoint, you have to understand that, and therefore the brand storytelling, however, may not have all the components at every point of time. It will change in which media you are, what's your objective, is your objective creating awareness, is your objective just, engulfing the consumer into your brand ethos, or is your objective to make the consumer, click on the shop now button and buy? That will determine your content. So therefore, you can't have one solution fits all, or one format fits all. It never works. So from a business standpoint, I think since there are students, you have to be aware of what is your objective, and you have to dovetail into the evolving consumer consumption of the kind of content and the kind of media that they are. So that's, according to me, it is. So I slightly differ from what you said.
Absolutely, yeah. I expected that. Yeah, Rubeena.
So, Raja, totally agree with what you said. I think brands have a really hard time today, creating content which is engaging for users, because the attention span is decreasing for people. Even if you see the audience today, everybody's on their phones, they're doing something, right? So I think it's more, it's not so much storytelling. It's like Sapna, like that one. I'll give you another one. It's scrolly telling, you know. It's like people are scrolling all the time and they just give you 3 seconds and 5 seconds attention. So how do you, between that scrolling, come in, deliver your message at the right time, understanding the intent of the person and the behavior of the person, using data, using formats, using different mediums, and putting it all together, I think is far harder for brands, challenging, but also interesting and a bigger opportunity. So that's what I'll leave it, right?
They call it the scroll culture. Yeah, Sapna.
Yeah. So I think just because we're running short on time, so I think in this topic, just 3 points. The one thing which I see is that how do we get the user engaged in the storytelling? So, you know, for example, the Black Mirror episode of, you know, choosing. I think that kind of content formats, so technology enabling personalization of content so that they are part of the story. I think that's like something which I think we'll see more of. And again, I do feel that the edginess of the content, you know, many people play it safe. So, you know, you have to play bold and be a little edgy, maybe the humor. You know, I think those are things which will break through. So if you have to really break through, maybe these are the 2 areas, apart from what, you know, everybody mentioned.
It was interesting because that Bandersnatch, when it came, it became a huge, you know, thing. But after that, then we kept on waiting for them to, you know, come up with new content, but then actually it didn't happen. So yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see who comes up with that kind of content again. Shrishail.
I think you spoke about the formats that are truly accepted as part of storytelling, and I think those formats will never go. They've been around for a long time. In fact, the 2 Hindu mythologies, you know, the numerous stories that can be drawn out of that to keep telling your stories. I think the entire Bollywood is living on those stories even now. So those, while they stay, but the truth is, rules are to be broken. And every time you break a rule, that's when, you know, that becomes memorable, right? And therefore, we'll have to keep looking at how do you break what kind of rule. And there are obviously numerous examples, but just take an example of Fevicol. You know, first time when we were looking at in our MBA classes and you said, here is an ad, they didn't show the product pack, they didn't tell what it does or why should I buy this, but the ad is winning awards everywhere. You know, so, and that's kind of stuck through, right? And that's what I think will work even now. So how do you really break rules? And while brands have to be sensitive to today's what is pop culture or even acceptability per se, but you will offend someone or the other, right? And with the power now moving from the brand, let's say, to the audience, somebody will get offended for sure, and the backlash is bound to come in. And we've seen a lot of brands now withdrawing ads and taking back kind of thing. But I believe brands will become more and more brave because they know this is unstoppable, right? Because there is no right, wrong, you never know where the line ends. So as brands become more brave and open to getting these backlashes, one of my mentors in my very early days said, if they are talking bad about your ad, they are talking about ad, and that counts. You know? So I believe that's where, yeah. So that's what storytelling is all about, and that's what will evolve. So being inspirational, aspirational, you know, still stays good and will stay good as we go on. Being the social, for the social good is always going to be of appeal. Newer things that are evolving now, which is sustainability and inclusiveness, if we kind of respect that and try see how we build that into our storytelling, hopefully we'll be able to build the right kind of content and which is more shareable and likable as we go on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Charan.
I just want to add, right? I agree that brands will get more braver. Sapna mentioned they will learn how to manage this tightrope. But at the same time, it is not necessary for brands to talk about everything, have an opinion on everything. It is not necessary, right? I also feel that lots of brands today do a lot of, you know, virtue signaling. Some topics are not even related to their purpose. They are not into those categories. They are not even dealing with those customers and communities. And the backlash is, you know, worse then, right? So if you are doing something for the community, I think you will get forgiven because you have so much other things to do for them. But I think normally the backlash will come when you have nothing to do with the issue. You have never stated anything in the past, and you have no locus standi on that, right? I think if that is one part of the learning which Sapna indicated. Yes, brands will get braver.
But Charan, as I said, brands have to be sensitive. I don't think there's any hiding from there, for sure. But you can never predict the outcome of it, and that's where the challenge is in terms of how do you really manage and mitigate those challenges and take your brand forward.
Yeah, so I think a couple of really good learnings coming out. Your brand to be brave. We need to look at content as in the light of what objective it should have, and not get trapped in that trap of the storytelling needs to have this kind of element and that kind of element. Straddling the line as far as what cause the brand will gravitate towards or will focus on, and also how the overall new tech piece will move forward and how it will get more affordable from an adoption perspective. I think these are a couple of things we can say from a trends perspective for 2023. I think it will be really an interesting space, and I would look forward to following all your brand's timelines and see how the content meter is moving. So really thank you everyone for being part of this panel and contributing towards the learnings. It's an absolute honor and privilege to be on stage with all of you. Thank you so much for this.
That was indeed very, very insightful. May I request you all to please stay on the stage. Can we hear a huge round of applause for these extremely wonderful panelists? May I now invite Mr. Burzeen Batina from NMIMS to felicitate the panel. Please make some noise for Mr. Batina. Yes, keep the applause going for wonderful pictures. Wonderful. That's all our panelists. May I request everybody to please come together closer for a group photograph. And like I just said, we get the best pictures when we get the best applause. Keep the applause going. Thank you. Thank you so much. May I request Ms. Rubeena Singh to please stay back on the stage to felicitate our other jury members. Some of our jury members who were not here previously are here right now with us. Wonderful. May I call upon Mr. Abhishek Gupta, CMO, Edelweiss Tokyo. Round of applause for Mr. Abhishek Gupta. Coming up on stage next, our jury member, Mr. Ashish Mehta, Department Head, BA Films, Television and New Media Production, NMIMS. sir, for being here. Calling upon Mr. Anurag Purohit, Head Digital Marketing, Larsen and Turbo Infotech. Sir, here? Never mind. Calling upon Dr. Deepak, Assistant Professor, NMIMS. Please keep the applause going, everybody. Wonderful to have you. Our next jury member this evening, Ms. Nivedita Parulekar, Manager, Marketing Excellence, Abbott Healthcare Private Limited. Wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. Wonderful. May I now call upon our next jury member, Mr. Prasad Timple, Executive Vice President and Head Digital Business Unit, Kotak Live. Wonderful to have you here, sir. Calling upon Sharmila Sandeep, Head Marketing, St. Gobain India Private Limited, Giprog Business. Oh, ma'am is here. Round of applause, please. Make some noise. Wonderful, ma'am. Lovely having you here. Calling upon our next jury member, Ms. Shonali Shetty, Head Growth Marketing, Godrej Capital. Ma'am's session was indeed very, very insightful. Thank you so much for being here. Our next jury member, Sudhanshu Tripathi, VP, Head of Marketing and Growth, Quick Deal. Wonderful, wonderful to have you here. Our next jury member, Mr. Sushant Kamble, Proprietor Director, Crop Circles. Sir is here. Very good evening. Give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful. May I also now call upon our jury member, Mr. Vishesh Sharma, CMO, Ashika Group. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. And those were all our jury members. Thank you so much, Ms. Singh, for doing the honors. A huge round of applause for all our jury members, please. And we shall now continue with our awards, and for that, may I call upon stage Mr. Rituraj Bidwai, please. the awards. There are few more jury members who haven't gotten the awards. So you can do the film. No, you please stay. Yes, yes. May I call upon Sapna Desai, please? Please bring your hands together for Ms. Sapna Desai. Alright, never mind. We shall now felicitate Mr. Charandeep Singh. Mr. Shrishail, Deshnur. Alright, looks like Mr. Deshnur is not here. Never mind, thank you so much. So we shall continue with the awards. And in the category Best Traditional Campaign Through Innovative Use of Influencers, the award goes to Bal Shiv by TV. So I think this is going to be a very, very memorable day in your life. Very, many congratulations. Hearty congratulations. The next award, Best Traditional Campaign Direct, goes to Delegate Winning Farmers Mindshare. Steam here? Yes, many, many congratulations. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Many congratulations. Make some noise, guys. We finally have the award recipients here. Many congratulations. The next award, Best Traditional Campaign Events and BTL, goes to Bal Shiv by TV. I'm curious how you're going to take these awards home. How are you going to take them home? Many congratulations again. The next award, Best Traditional Campaign Print, goes to India Economic Conclave 2022. Alright, I guess they're not here. So you need to come back. Best Traditional Campaign TV goes to Bal Shiv by TV. Hearty congratulations. The next award this evening, Best Use of Data-Driven Insight, goes to Zepto Launch 10-minute grocery delivery via Xerxes by Zappaz. The team here. Oh yeah. Wonderful. Many, many, many congratulations. Advertising Digital, Best Digital Campaign Consumer Services. We shall give this award in a bit. Best Advertising Digital, Best Digital Campaign Education goes to Delegate Knowledge Center. banking enterprises goes to #Up Choices Hue Aasan by Bajaj Markets. Anyone here from the team? Never mind, many congratulations. The next award, Best Digital Campaign Media Entertainment goes to Saregama India Pani Pani. Not here. Many congratulations. Best Digital Campaign Video goes to Asian Paints Royal Glitz featuring Deepika Madison via Zapads. Oh wow, many congratulations to you. Alright, we see new faces on the stage, guys. We need some applause here. Come on, we can do better. Yes, yes. Hearty congratulations to you. The next award, Best Digital Campaign through Content Creation and Production, goes to Udayan Texalon. Wow, many congratulations. The next award this evening, Best Digital Campaign Email, goes to India Economic Conclave 2021. Yes, they're not here. Best Digital Gamification Campaign, Rice Wheat Killer Assert. Anyone here from the team? Oh, you are deciding you want to come up or not? Please come up if you are the winner. Hearty congratulations. Award, Best Digital Campaign Facebook, goes to Happy at Home. Many congratulations. Best Digital Campaign Instagram goes to D2H Fantastic Fan Selfie. Mine, hearty congratulations. Best Digital Campaign Mobile goes to Z5 Regional Digital Campaign via Zapad Zerzi's platform. Once again, many congratulations. Guys, if you are applauding, then we are applauding for everybody, otherwise it's not fair. I can sleep well tonight knowing that this audience was intelligent and very loving. Moving on to the next award, Best Digital Campaign Search goes to Organic Growth Marketing for DBS Bank by PureTech Digital. Wow, this is so many team members. Many congratulations to all of you all. Wonderful. Many congratulations. The next award, Best Digital Campaign Social, goes to LG OLED launch featuring SRK PhD Media via Xerxes by Zapads. I want to understand how does it feel? 1 second, sir. Do you now feel like you should have gotten more of your team members here? Do you now feel like more of your team members should have joined you today? Alright, anyways, many congratulations to you once again. Our next award this evening, Best Digital Campaign Community Management, goes to Delegate Dost Dhamaka. award this evening, Best Digital Media Integrated Campaign, goes to Growth Marketing for HDFC Securities Limited. Hearty congratulations. Make some noise, guys. Wonderful. Many, many congratulations. With that, I'd like to thank Mr. Bidwai for being here with us on stage. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being such a sport. We shall now move on to the next panel discussion. Data is the key to growth in new commerce, and one of the biggest advantages of entering D2C is customer data. When used properly, it can revolutionize the way you do business and interact with customers. The moderator for this one is going to be Mr. Mahip Dwivedi, Head of Marketing at Tyke. Mr. Mahip is a digital marketing strategist with over 14 plus years combined online and offline marketing experience with an extensive focus on performance marketing, mobile app marketing, new user acquisition, organic growth and strategic alliances. A self-starter with the ability to translate corporate goals into reality, motivated and sincerely enjoys developing and maintaining excellent relations. Passionate about how digital marketing has changed the face of advertising, Mahip currently heads TykeInvest.com as Head of Marketing. Prior to this, Mahip was associated with brands like Flipkart, Big Basket and CommonFlow.com, where he managed their digital and performance marketing. Has also worked with brands like Kotak, Yahoo, Knight Frank India and HDFC Realty in the past, with a core focus on HNI sales, account management and offline marketing. A very warm welcome, sir. Give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So you can take your seat. I'd now like to call upon our panelist, Mr. Abhishek Gupta, Chief Marketing Officer, Edelweiss Tokyo. Mr. Abhishek Gupta is the Chief Marketing Officer of Edelweiss Tokyo Life Insurance and has been a part of the Edelweiss Group for 7 years now. Be it his focus on customer experience or a flair of proactive marketing ideas, he has been at the forefront of driving brand saliency for Edelweiss Tokyo Life. With an unmatched enthusiasm for marketing, Abhishek has delivered several unique campaigns for the company. With over 2 decades of experience in sales and marketing, has previously worked with the mobile store SR Group, Bharti Retail, Spencer Retail, ICICI Bank and Shoppers Stop. Warm welcome to you, sir. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's Mr. Abhishek Gupta. Our next panelist this evening, Mr. Akshay Gamkar, Vice President D2C at Reliance Jio. Akshay has a diverse mix of product marketing, AI and operations expertise in industries such as telecom, FMCG and consumer durables. Give the applause going. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us. Our next panelist, Mr. Prasad Pimple, Executive Vice President and Head Digital Business Unit at Kodak Life, is a firm believer in the process of ideation, experimentation, learning fast, succeeding faster and scaling up cheap. A chemical engineer from UDCT and MBA from JBIMS, Prasad has 19 years of experience in digital business, brand and product management, customer acquisition, customer life cycle management strategy, business planning and research across insurance, telecom, banking and engineering sectors. Prior to Kodak Life, Prasad has worked in HDFC Life, Tata Docomo, Vodafone, ICICI Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank. Warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Calling upon Ms. Sharmila Sandeep, Head Marketing at St. Gobain India Private Limited, Guidebrook Business, an MBA in Marketing from PSG Institute of Management, also holds MA and MPhil in Sociology, joined the St. Gobain Guidebrook in 2021 as the Head of Marketing. Has 18 years of brand and marketing experience across various industries. Prior to this, she led marketing and product management at ICICI Bank, Bisleri, Pidilite, Hudson Argo, Radio Mirchi and Future Group Retail. Sharmila has vivid interest and acquired skills in numerous handicrafts, conducts workshops and loves being a swimming coach. She unwinds by watching movies and social networking. Our next panelist this evening, Mr. Sudhanshu Tripathi, Vice President, Head of Marketing and Growth at Quick Heal. He's an entrepreneurial leader who loves to work at the cusp of technology and human impact. He's currently the VP, Head of Marketing and Growth at Quick Heal. Prior to this, he was Head of Marketing and ESG at Sterlite Power. His marketing efforts have successfully created global brands and unlocked value through strategic initiatives across startups as well as global matrix organizations. Warm welcome to you, sir. All yours, Mr. Mani.
So good evening, guys. Very delighted to be here, and we have like a very, very interesting topic of any business that actually starts in any country, right, across the world, and which is customer data. Customer data is something that you get to see on the first day of your business, and we have some, very big names right now in our panel, and we would be very, very happy to actually share and, the experiences on what do we see on customer data, how does that work, how do you track customer data, why it's very important, and various things across it. So first of all, welcome the panelists. Very happy to hosting this particular and interesting panel. I would like to start with a very, very interesting question on with all the brands, right? We have been into pandemic for almost 2 years, right? And you guys would have seen a tremendous change in terms of how customers' behavior was, how you were looking at customers, and how it is today. So we can start with anybody, and would you like to tell us that why it was very important for you to see customer data post and pre-pandemic, and what has changed right now?
So maybe I'll take it because I'm in telecom industry, and I've been in telecom since almost 20 years, so I have seen that transition. And pandemic was extremely interesting in terms of how telecom usage went up. Not only that, specifically to the SIM buying behavior, which was traditionally always, you walk into a retail shop and the way it was being bought. For the first time, we saw that customers started ordering even SIM cards at home, right? So I actually had the D2C setup for the company, and our numbers just zoomed up. And it's not only, lot of the D2C conversation, whenever this happens, it's extremely elite and the top 2000 pin codes and all of that. But what we learned was surprised us, right? Just couple of quarters back, we completed our distribution in terms of 19,000 pin codes in India, which means that the change in behavior is not only limited to the top metros and the elite customer, the typical D2C customer that comes to the mind, but it's gone right deep rural, the last pin code of India, right? And connecting back all the data, and telecom as an industry is always flooded with data. We have actually too much of data in terms of what we have. But the moment the customer behavior changed, all that data that was available, how do you sort of leverage it? How do you store it properly? How do you make it available to the marketeers at the fingertip as and when needed, right? All those factors came in. Pandemic has completely changed, at least in telecom, our distribution game in terms of how it was earlier and how it is. To an extent that we are seeing our entire distribution completely changing for good.
In continuation to what you were saying about distribution, while yes, I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about consumers and how consumers have changed and how data is important from a consumer perspective, I would probably like to bring a different perspective in the beginning of our discussion, which is, and let me start with the data point, almost 92% of life insurance sales in this country happens when a distributor is involved in between or intermediary is involved in between. Whether it is somebody assisting you on the phone or whether it is somebody sitting across you in front of you and actually convincing you to buy the product. Now these distributors are traditionally used to buy and sell face to face, and they have been selling this for like more than 50 plus years. And suddenly at the beginning of 2020, there was a scenario where the face-to-face meetings were no longer happening, and they were not this thing. So this required a huge mindset shift, not only from a consumer point of view, the consumer obviously, but more important for our industry from a distributor point of view. These distributors who were selling face-to-face were suddenly now forced to sell either on the phone or through video calls or through WhatsApp messages and everything. So what pandemic did was made this shift, which probably would have happened 15, 20 years down the line, but within a year, and actually not even a year, within 6 months, then not just our company, the entire industry migrated. I'm sure my colleague Prasad from Kotak Life will agree. Our industry completely changed because of that. That is from the distributor side. From the consumer side, you know, one thing that we all, especially in India, we believe that we are invincible. मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, जो भी होगा मेरे पड़ोस वाले को होगा, मेरे नेबर को होगा, मेरे रिश्तेदार को होगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, and that feeling of invincibility actually started to go completely. We started suddenly feeling very vulnerable because actually a virus which we could not see brought the entire world to a standstill. So that sense of vulnerability actually increased, and whenever there is a sense of vulnerability, there is a sense of risk, and when there is a sense of risk, there is a need for risk mitigation, and whenever there is a need for risk mitigation, products like insurance do very well. So both sides, pandemic actually managed to change completely the behavior.
So I'll just continue from what Abhishek was mentioning about consumers, how they got changed. At the same time, companies also got changed. The way consumers were changing their behavior and the way we are collecting the data and looking at the consumer, that entire part also has undergone significant amount of change. So for example, data was getting created earlier as well. When face-to-face interactions were happening, when telephonic interactions were happening, the data was getting collected, but it was not a structured data. It was available in silos with individuals and it was not available for analysis. But now with pandemic, more and more digital, I'm not saying digital mode of doing business, but digital transformation, the way it has happened, where the physical forms have gone and instead of that, tablet forms have come into the picture, lot of customer level data, lot of distribution level data has started getting captured into the system. And that availability of the data is another important aspect. To analyze, you need to have structured data, correct? Unstructured data, yes, you can analyze, you can get the insights out of it, but you cannot quantify it. Now suddenly that power has come into the company's hand to harness that collected data. And that's where the entire data evolution has happened, correct? Majority of the startups, they went into the acquisition spree with the hopes that data, what they are going to collect from the customers is going to help them in future to sell, cross-sell other products. That happened with the insurance company as well. Suddenly, a lot of customer data has got captured into the system. The entire AI, ML, what we started talking about couple of years back or maybe couple of years before pandemic, that entire thing got pushed into reality. I think that's the biggest change which happened from the company perspective along with the consumers. That's how I look at it. And hence the role of data significantly increased, changed. The decision making started becoming more data based than gut based. That's how I can say from the company perspective.
Probably I could share a perspective from a different industry, home interior enhancement and beautification category. What we saw during COVID, all of us spent 2 years staying within home, and I think that changed post-COVID, that we all started all the more getting interested in how do you beautify your interior space, and we saw this consumer behavior change. They no longer required an influencer to give them guidance or look into what needs to go into their space, but consumer themselves started getting more involved into those decision making. So that's the change we saw in customer behavior pattern, and we could learn a lot of things from that.
So, so just one question on that. So, so Sharmila, did you see that when basically the customer came back, right? As a consumer inside, did you see them then they were more learned because they were just consuming a lot of content during pandemic on their own, and they were maybe more planned and focused on basically how they want to basically beautify their homes?
I think both, yeah, I mean, both a lot of learning and they want to be involved and it really impacted, the business as a whole.
Got it. Thank you.
No, the first question that you asked, why is data important for D2C brands? And now, all of us talked about how pandemic moved us to go digital. Now, with digital, there was a deluge of data, there was a lot of data, we all talked about it. Now, parallelly, something else was also kind of taking shape, which is increase in the cyber attacks. And I come from the industry which talks about, a cybersecurity solution. Now, there, most of my discussions with my management starts with growth. And I think most of you will be having a similar kind of demand, which is what you bring on table as a marketing function. Now, when we talk about growth, I need to understand my customers better. I need to take new use cases to my existing customers. And similarly, I need to unlock and bring new customers onto my fold. Now, unless I understand who I am talking to, what is their intentionality, what do they look for, I'll not be able to do anything and even not be able to even configure a simple campaign which would be relevant to my audience. Now, that's the basic requirement, that why do we need data in D2C? And once we understand that having rich data helps us be more optimal with our efforts, I think that's where we try to solve for the first party data. We have been having access to data through third party and the gamut there is huge. But when you look at the issues related to those data, the accuracy of data or even the compliance around those databases were missing. And that's where having direct access to data for D2C brands become critical. Apart from that, you also are able to shape up your campaigns better, you are able to control your messaging better because you exactly know your customer preferences, you know more about your customers, whom you are talking to or even your target audience. So that, in my sense, is why data is critical for D2C.
Thank you so much. So I think you correctly said, right? I mean, managing the overall data and then looking at your first party data is, equally important. So I think we'll move on to more on the customer funnel side of what you guys see and how important is the first party data for you, right? I think first party data, I come from my, my previous stint was this Flipkart for almost 5 years. And first party data was boon for us, right? Because it's not just you can learn from it, but you can also sell it like monetization, right? And this is going to be going on and on while you will care for customer privacy, but at the same time, what are your views about your brand leveraging the first party data, and maybe if you can talk about maybe what do you use to track those?
I mean, in telecom, I think one of the panelists sometime back spoke about how telcos have already started leveraging, and there are now, like for example, Jio. We have a fully legitimate Jio ads as a product, right, which is being offered now to advertisers, and there are communications that are there. So absolutely, I mean, what we are using for our own consumption as marketeers, and the kind of insights we are drawing and kind of leverage we are getting, that same structure in an anonymized way has to be made available, can be made available externally also. And I think amongst at least Indian brands, I can say, telcos are the first movers in that sense, right? That who have started making a move towards first monetizing, leveraging first party data. Monetizing is still a bigger word, but leveraging first party data even for advertisers on our platform, that's a revolution that started. I mean, 10 years back, who would have thought that telcos competing in ad space, but that's today a reality.
So I completely agree with what Akshay mentioned about the telecom and the way they completely changed the picture and game for the first party data. and I can clearly understand from the perspective that it is that I have worked with VORA for earlier, the amount of first party data what they collect and they can use for to sell the value added services and other activities, that scope is humongous. Now, if I come back to the insurance segment or insurance sector, the biggest challenge what we face is we are not allowed to sell anything else apart from insurance from regulations. Correct? So regulation perspective, we do not have that liberty. But the first party data becomes far more important from today's situation because of the use cases what we have. From that particular perspective, if I take the example of the people who are visiting our websites in an anonymous manner. Correct? Earlier, we never had situations or tools through which I could have retargeted to them. Correct? The people who have come to our website, explored things, they basically consume the content, but they didn't take any action. How do I go back to those set of customers? That entire approach of retargeting, remarketing has completely got opened up with this entire concept of capturing the first party data either in form of consumers who have dropped in their contact details with us or the consumers who have come in an anonymous manner. Both way, this first party data, the kind of analytics what we can do, the kind of Google Analytics, the kind of features which has got introduced into it around the first party data, I think the opportunities are huge. Today, somebody who is a repeat customer who is coming back to our website, we can do a customized targeting to them, correct? Just because of the ability to capture that first party data. Same thing happens with the customers who have interacted with us, have given us the contact number. We have done the telephonic connect with him or her. Even retargeting them on his or her next visit to website, basis the call center interaction, that also gets enabled with this entire first party data part. So those use cases of remarketing, retargeting, as well as customer engagement, I think those opportunities have got opened up a lot, and that too at a huge scale. That's how I look at it.
Sure. See, if I may add there, see, if the question is why first party data, I think even initially I talked about it, but one underlying principle is if you need to do something right, do it yourself. Now that's the power what first party data gives you. When we talked about customers, we talked about going digital, everyone is there. Now people and my consumers or customers, they expect personalization. I can't personalize specific to their requirements if I don't have the right data. And I think we talked about capturing the data from website. And right now we are taking baby step as an organization. For us, it's a journey which has recently started, but we see the value. We see the value specifically from a perspective that most of my customers have been acquired through offline retail network that we have. 80% of my customers are from there. So there, the data that we capture is not credible data. So those are dealer data which have been fed, and the customers' data is missing. The quality is a big concern for the data which was acquired offline. Now, online is where we are solving it because I'm getting access to the direct customer data, and there I'm able to optimize the experience. Now, when it comes to the offline data, we are trying to see if we can incentivize customers to share their own data so I can personalize their experiences. And personalization could be at a product label, personalization could be at an experience label. So there are different ways we can leverage the data. And unless we have it, it will be very difficult to even be relevant to the customers of tomorrow.
Yeah, please.
So I just wanted to add something. I mean, I've spoken, so I don't want to sort of hog the mic too much. But I think a lot of D2C marketing today is, I mean, that's my feel, is focusing excessively on what is possible, because we are almost like the kid in a candy shop that suddenly, there is post-pandemic, there are customers on our websites, and suddenly there is so much of data, and of course the tools are there, and I think a lot of marketers are over-indexing on the data side. I mean, your question is absolutely valid, but I I see a lot of companies completely outsourcing or completely rather, not giving enough importance to the whole UX journey. I think that's been one of my core learnings in the pandemic, that yes, there are now 100x users that are wanting to buy from you directly on your apps, on your website, on your platforms. But just that is not really the full journey, right? The good old principles in terms of solving for, okay, what is his user experience journey? What is his, which app? Just reducing the number of clicks, ensuring that even, once the order is there, then how do you actually execute it on the ground? Outsourcing it to a third party is not really, at least it didn't work for us, right? So solving each of those is also going to give you, far more value and results, as it will perhaps on the data side. Most marketeers are currently focusing excessively on the first part, and perhaps not at all on the second, which is the mid end of the UX part, and the last end, which is actually physical deliveries, and how do you get that experience right. So
thank you so much.
That's my caveat, actually.
Yeah. So I think, thank you so much for, sharing that important thing. I think on the customer data, I think the next important thing there for us is basically segmentation, right? So give you one example. When I was at Big Basket, and Big Basket was in maybe first 100,000 customers, and while we were scaling their app, right, the most important thing was how do we ensure that this guy comes and does at least 4 transactions in a month, right? Because grocery as a business is something that you would need them to come and transact, because your delivery cost is high. You are already bleeding on the private labels, and most places, right, you need to solve this, right? So we actually did a lot of these user onboarding journeys in terms of push notification, in terms of emails, in terms of sending them reminders, and also their purchase patterns, right? And believe me, this is a lot of data for even a lack of consumers. If you just look at it and see what all they buy at one order in a shot, right? But it does help you, because once you basically study that data, it actually tells you that where in the funnel basically that drop is coming. So very interesting. It will be very interesting to hear what basically other brand is experiencing on the segmentation. Yeah.
So I'll actually give you 2 or 3 different examples from different parts of business. First is obviously the consumer side. Being in life insurance, a consumer stays with it for a period of 15 to 20 years. Over a period of time, the life stage of consumer changes. In almost all cases, the income moves up. So therefore, the need of insurance also changes. And our research tells us that a consumer will buy a life insurance 4 times in a life at least. So our endeavor is to how I can get the maximum share of this 4 times. Because of the medical records being available to us, we are fairly intimate details of consumers are available with us. So what we try to do is, in terms of segmentation, try to figure out what is the best way to give the next product to this kind of customer, because we believe and we know that this consumer is going to move up in life. Move up either financially or in terms of responsibilities, or maybe in terms of enhancing the social stature. So their data actually comes in a lot of handy, because we go back to consumers at least once a year, every year, when the premium payment renews. So therefore, that's an opportunity for us to nurture our data and enrich our data every time. And that helps us in a lot of segmentation, so which is one use case. The second use case for us is, again, for this customer. Our industry has also one more problem, which is we call as where customers do not stay with us. They don't pay second year or third year onwards. All our costs are front-ended. We have huge cost in acquiring the customers, and we don't make money unless until customer continues to pay the premium. So what we call as persistency, we do segmentation of customers to figure out which bucket of customers are most likely to attract, and therefore double the efforts are spent on those particular set of customers in reaching out to them, in ensuring that they know about their policy, so that these consumers end up paying every year. And third, which is very important from a financial perspective, is risk. Our industry is also prone to a lot of frauds, and therefore it is important to identify this fraud and actually regulator gives us 3 years, that within 3 years you have to figure out if the policy was a fraud and you can cancel the policy. Beyond 3 years you are not allowed to do that. So those 1 or 2 years are available to us to practically go and check whether everything that was done and we have actually done proper underwriting and the policy is actually what the customer had really wanted. So their data actually plays a huge important role, and today actually we can, at the policy issuance stage only, we can make out whether this is going to be a fraud or not. And their data actually comes a lot of handy. The point I'm trying to make is data is not just helps you from acquiring or retaining a customer, data actually helps you across all facets of business, provided it is nurtured properly.
So did you also figured out, and this is an interesting thing which I observed when I was at Flipkart, you know, when we basically looked at our real CAC of data, right? When you basically look at your segment of data and see, you know, isko retarget karna hai kya, you know, shall we go behind him? Because this is some guy who is making you a high, you know, LTV, right? And but then at the same time, you can actually see a similar quality of customer can actually come from your new acquisition. So did you see some kind of a pattern in your business where you think while data is important to retain the customer, at the same time you still prefer you know, to apply the acquisition funnel than a retargeting funnel?
I think there is, actually this question is kind of, I would say, rhetorical kind of a question, because the answer is yes. Data is required on both the sides in terms of retargeting and retaining the same set of customers. But at the same time, when you're going after a new set of customers, and which business does not want new set of customers? So yes, it really helps us in getting the same kind of customers, because we know a lot of details about the customers and the type of customers that they are. So it really helps us in forming a cohort and going after them.
Sure. Anybody else on the data segmentation? Yeah.
Yeah. Adding to what Akshay and Abhishek said, you know, personalization is no more a nice to have thing. You know, I think our customers are already, you know, expecting that from us. Hyper personalization is what they're already expecting. And, you know, customers have started to expect from brands to know in advance what they need before even they make their first step. So segmenting is nothing but, you know, categorizing customers based on business attributes, but it becomes complex if it is based on only one attribute. For example, if you take one customer who's buying a 500 rupees product 10 times and a customer who's buying a 5,000 rupees product once, and if you segment them together, the outreach is going to be a total failure. So understanding and sub-segmenting customers is going to be key. In this case, segmenting customers on value, value plus category plus frequency, value plus category plus frequency, plus, you know, new stock versus end of sale purchases. So, you know, multiple sub-segmenting is going to be the key. And if you take online and offline customers, consumer behaviors are different. And probably you'll have a customer who's comfortable doing online shopping, and you know, when it comes to high value products, he still wants to go to the offline store, touch and feel, and make a, you know, purchase decision. And even if I take the banking as a segment, a consumer is comfortable doing a small ticket transaction to digital, but he will want to go to a physical branch to do a high value transaction. And if you have to take a D2C brand and you know, probably take a category like a skincare product category, it's very important to segment and understand customers on their different life stages and derive at a genome, you know, to see where a customer is evolving. You know, probably from a stage of being a teenager to a job fresher to a mother. So it's very important to you know, evolve the genome for this customer. And same way, utilizing these data is going to be key in segmenting.
Thank you. So my next question is specifically for Abhishek and Prasad. On when you basically use customer data, we discussed upon and touched upon, you know, how do we acquire customer, you know, what do we do with customer? And because you guys are into a very, very critical insurance sector, right? What is your opinion on the utilization of this data post-purchase? How much does it help in terms of, let's say, reviving the business? And what else, or a specific use case you would want to share, with the audience?
So yes, you are correct in terms of when it comes to data utilization, the first thing what we think about is new customer acquisition, that how can I get that customer in. But in life insurance, the post-purchase data analysis is equally important, because unlike other industries, if I take the example of telecom or for that matter banking, there are so many transactions which are continuously happening, correct? When I use phone, I use data, I use voice, I use SMS, I use so many services, and I use it daily, every minute, every second. Something is happening on my device, correct? When it comes to banking, I do so many transactions, correct? Now I do UPI transactions, I do check payment, I do money transfer. So many transactions are happening. Now when it comes to life insurance and post-purchase, the policy contracts are as long as 40 years, 50 years as well, correct? Such a long period when customer is going to be with me, and I am doing transaction mostly once in a year. Few customers might be doing transaction once in a month if they are paying premium monthly, but majority of our customers do one transaction in a year, and they are having a long contract with us. Now that having that recall for your brand, for a transaction-led brand, it's easier because it's happening regularly. In our case, we have to infuse more into it, more energy into it, just to have that customer experience and customer engagement in place. And that customer engagement, we have to find ways through which I can reach out to that particular customer and do some amount of engagement. So in our case, all the nudges which happen with the customer are happening with a trigger, and that trigger is what the data is currently helping us find. So for example, Abhishek talked about the renewal, the persistency part of it. Now persistency doesn't come just by reminding the customer that okay, your policy premium is due, just go and make the payment. That is not an engagement, correct? That is just a reminder to him. But the engagement starts 3-4 months before that, correct? When you start talking about his policy, that okay, you have this policy, these are the benefits. Then you talk about okay, you are doing a great thing by having this policy, your family's future is secured. Then you come to the next part, that how important it is to pay the regular premiums and how it ensures your family's future. Then finally you come to the point that okay, you make the premium payment, and if you are not having any standing instruction with us, please do so that you did not remember this due date kind of a thing. Now this is one trigger, this which comes from the data of policy renewal date. The another trigger is all about the special days what we have, correct? So many special days have got invented in last 5-10 years. I have seen word savings day, word investment day, word backup day. There are so many days, correct?
And sale every week now, right? On all the e-commerce sites.
Correct. So there are so many days which have got come into the system. It's all about how do we map those days with the kind of interest that customer has and the kind of data he has left with. So all the customers who have bought a savings plan or the ULIP plan, the market link plans, when they do fund switch, and we know that okay, they are active fund switchers, how do I use that investment day, connecting it with what he is doing with us as a brand? All those things are all about that data thing. The entire customer lifecycle management is based on the data and that trigger which is coming out of that data. So it is not about just new customers, but existing customers is equally important. And plus for the new purchase, when they come back, new purchase.
I'll just add one more point to what Prasad said. At a very basic level in life insurance, we cover two types of risk. One is either dying too early, or second is living too long. When customer has taken one kind of product, which is probably risk covering the risk of dying too early, I know I have another risk to cover, which is living too long. Yeah. And for living too long, I have multiple products. So just go after the customer in sending the next set of risk to be covered.
Thank you so much. Very interesting, actually. I'll move on to the next set specifically for Sharmila and Sudhanshu. So we are talking about, reading customer data, right? We're talking about how do we target this data. Now, But at the same time, we need to maybe remind ourselves that, we are a very big brand. We are sitting on like a pile of data today. What do you suggest for a small D2C brand who have maybe a startup, right? And maybe just in the market, how do you suggest them to basically leverage this piece of data? Because right now, if you see, normally it's easy to segment your data because you would actually be seeing, people at least in a million, right? But when it is hundreds, how do you market them? And so on and so forth. So what are your views on that?
Yeah, data is going to be a challenge for a new D2C brand, especially if they are from a unique category, if they are going to be in. So in such cases, one could look upon similar industry data and probably learn from the similar industry whereas who have already made genome on understanding the consumer behavior. And customers' purchase path to conversion to purchase is evolving and is very complex. A customer, probably gets a web notification, a mobile notification, goes on to a website, and sees the product and probably makes the purchase in a store. So that complex customer behavior is. So understanding this is going to be a challenge, and capturing this data and refining the data will be the key here.
Just to add to what Sharmila said, so a couple of things that a startup can look at, especially from a perspective that data acquisition can be very costly affair. Now, where do we start? So if you are a D2C kind of brand, definitely you have a website. Now, just looking at your, say, Google Analytics data itself will give you behavioral aspects of your customers. So that can be a starting point. You can also look at the registration data. If you ask your customers to log in, whether you do it through a single sign-on or you let them create their credentials, so you have the basic kind of data which is their name, their email ID, phone number. So that is something to start with. If you have a product, the product itself will throw a lot of data in terms of users. So for example, in our case, I monitor device users on a real-time basis. So I have the behavior of every customer is mapped to the device users patterns. And I know if there are devices at risk. When I say at risk, if they're not getting utilized enough, I see there is a churn, likely churn, and the next year renewal will be at risk. Then you do a different kind of campaign because you have that insights with you. Now, another source of data could be your customer queries that you get. Now, if you are a D2C brand and you are talking to a customer, you can have a simple support or emails coming, so that itself gives you a lot of data. If you are a D2C brand, you will have user reviews, ratings. So that again is a source of data. So these are basic stuff to start with. Then anyway, as you grow, you go to a kind of a e-commerce like platform, you get secondary data, you get to a third-party platform and acquire your, till the cookies last, you have your third-party data available. So that's a mix that you need to play when you are starting. You need to start small and then leverage on the data she talked about, just mapping the audience and expanding the audience. So those are things that you keep doing it repeatedly, your database grows, and then you can play on that.
Thank you so much. So I think one more thing which I would like to add on the startup bit is when you start, you can actually start small. Do an experiment into one is a new user set, gain the data, apply it back to 1%, 2% of a similar user set you would get on, let's say, Google, Facebook. Try basically different platforms at a very, very small scale and see what's basically working for your down funnel revenues. Because at the end of the day, right, if you're getting registration and not conversion, either there is a problem with the product, or you need to basically look down upon that if the campaign which was running, which was good or not, right? So with that, I come to the last question, which maybe one-liner advice to young D2C brands in India from your end, and maybe you can start.
I think, yes, believe in data, but use data, I would say, by using your mind. Don't just believe data blindly, because data has many twists and turns and there's ways data can be presented. Use data wisely, use your head. Just don't blindly believe data.
I think you actually stole my thunder. I wanted to say that, especially for younger companies, the entire end-to-end user experience is the key. Understanding data and utilizing it is, understand that it's a part of it. It's not the whole thing, right? So long as you do this, you'll be fine.
So I would say it is, yes, data is important, use data, but don't use somebody else's data, don't use somebody else's data analysis. You experiment on your own, create your own hypotheses, test them, create data, and then make insights and use them, rather than relying on something which is available easily in the market. Just focus on your own experimentation and your own data collection.
Build data to build business. Treat data as an asset, and treating data as an asset and decisions made, a culture on making decisions based on data should be the two fundamental strategies for any company to go ahead.
I think if we look at customers, customers are willing to share data as long as they have trust. So that's the underlying thing that we need to build. We need to build trust to be able to get the right data from customers, and then we need to engineer the right conversations. With that, you will get zero-party data, which is far more richer than the first-party data that we get. But as a marketing kind of team, we are the custodians of that trust. We don't need, if we break that trust, the journey breaks there. So we have to take care of that underlying principle.
Thank you so much, speakers. I think it was great to have you on board and thoroughly enjoyed the session. I'm sure audience already is that. So can we have a round of applause for our speakers today? Thank you so much for this evening, and looking forward for more. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, so wonderfully moderated also, sir. Thank you so very much. May I call upon Mr. Rituraj Bidwai to please felicitate our panelists. Really insightful discussion. Please keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen. Come together for a group photograph. Yes, we see such wonderful smiles on stage, calling for some applause. Thank you so much. Wonderful. For the next set of awards, may I please call upon stage Ms. Sayali Godambe from NMIMS College. Honestly, I'll sleep well. That's the maximum amount of noise we've heard today. Alright then, Brand Advertising Digital, the award for Best Use of Digital Media for Brand Voice and Strategic Storytelling goes to Sahi Investing Ki Baat RF Rap. Are they there? Anyways, looks like they're not here. Many, many congratulations. The next award this evening, Best Use of Digital Media for Launch Relaunch, goes to Launch launch of Tata Neu, your super app by Zapat's Xerxes platform. Hearty congratulations to you. The next award this evening, Best Digital Media Effectiveness. Happy at Home. Anyone there from the team? Okay. Congratulations. The next award, Best Use of Data Integration, goes to Urban Company with Zapat Xerxes platform. Okay, we see a new face now. You actually called your friend, huh? Your team member. Okay, wonderful. Congratulations. The next award this evening, BA Media Planning. Best Media Planning, Financial Services, Banking Enterprises goes to Investonomics by ICICI Direct. Looks like they're not here. The next award, Best Media Planning, Healthcare, goes to Lebanon OD ATMG Launch Experience. We shall move on. Best Media Planning, Media Entertainment goes to Ek Mahanayak, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar by Ant TV. Many congratulations. Thank you so much, Ms. Kadambe, for being here this evening. To give away the next set of awards, may I call upon Ms. Rishika Bhojwani from NMIMS College. Warm welcome. Best Media Planning, the award goes to Happy at Home. Congratulations. The next award this evening, Best Media Execution Campaign, goes to How PureTech Digital increased MAUs by 150% in 6 months for Live Mint. Wonderful. Many congratulations. Wow. Nice to see many team members here. Many congratulations to all of you. Hearty congratulations. This definitely deserves more applause, guys. Winning away all the awards this evening. And the brand of the year. Hearty congratulations to you. And moving on to the next award. The advertising agency of the year goes to... It goes to Zapads. Very, many congratulations. I think somebody can record. Both of you should come. Yes, make some noise for Zapads, ladies and gentlemen. Advertising agency of the year. We'd like to thank Ms. Bhojwani. Thank you so much for being here this evening. How many people from the agency was here? भूख तो लगी होगी. अब देखना ये है कि अवार्ड की भूख लग रही है या खाने की भूख लग रही है. क्या भूख लग रही है? पक्का ना? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the winners list. We'll be nice and we'll begin with the students team. All right, we'll tell you who in the students team won. The winner is Group 1. Make some noise. That's Group 1, and who better than Dr. Neha Singh to please come up on stage and give the award to them. Yes, make all the noise you want to. It's your college, your award. Many, many congratulations. Guys, with your permission, can we move on? Many, many congratulations. Dr. Neha Singh, can we request you to stay back, please, to give away the other award? It's now time to announce agency wars. And the winner in the bronze category is... The winner in the bronze category is Salt Media! Hearty congratulations. Okay, everybody from the team should come. Only that's fair. Please come. the award goes to Prakriya Digital. Prakriya Digital. Yes, yes, please come. Keep the applause going for Prakriya Digital, guys. Many, many congratulations to all of you. Silver category in the agency was goes to Prakriya Digital. Make some noise for them. Wonderful. Many, many congratulations. Before we give away the gold award, there's one award which we skipped, and I want to just announce it again. This one is best use of digital media for brand voice and strategic storytelling. It goes to Sahi Investing Ki Baat RAP. Is the team there? Yes, yes, please come. Many, many congratulations to you. Hearty congratulations. Yes, keep the applause going. Hearty congratulations. So, ladies and gentlemen, what shall we do now? Shall we say goodbye, good night, sayonara? Yeah? Alright. No, I'm not going to be that mean, but I think there's something we can do. The final award, before we announce it, they've achieved something brilliant, something great tonight, right? So before they come on stage, let's all stand up, give them a standing ovation so that they actually cherish this moment. May I request everybody to stand up wherever you are. Please stand up for a gold this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now going to announce. Could there be any guesses? Any other guess? Who knows? Who knows? Alright. I am now going to announce the gold winner of Agency Wars. And the winner is PureTech Team 2! Many, many congratulations to PureTech. This is the Team 2. There were 2 teams from PureTech. Hearty congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our gold award winners. Give them a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so patient. Before we leave, we've already mentioned this a few times, our upcoming awards, our upcoming event, dodawards.in. Please log into this website, register yourselves if you want to participate. Remember, dodawards.in. Yes, please do not leave us without having dinner. Join us for dinner. It would be wonderful to see all of you. And with that, I've been ordered to say goodbye to all of you all. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. My name is Muskan Chaudhary. I'll see you all again soon. God bless. Thank you. Okay, there are some awards I need to announce, people who could not be here. Brand Experience and Strategy. The award for Best Multi-Market Brand Strategy Campaign goes to Glass Bottle Launch for Vedika by Mindshift Interactive. Hearty congratulations. The next award this evening, Brand Advertising PR. Best PR Financial Services Banking Enterprises goes to Motilal Oswal Financial Services. The category Advertising Traditional, Best Traditional Campaign Financial Services Banking Enterprises goes to hashtag Ab Choices Hue Aasan by Bajaj Markets. The next award, Brand Advertising Digital, Best Digital Campaign Consumer Services goes to Glass Bottle Launch for Vedika by Mindshift Interactive. Hearty congratulations. Best Digital Campaign YouTube goes to Glass Bottle Launch for Vedika by Mindshift Studios. Put your hands together for them, please. BA Media Planning, Best Media Insights and Strategy. The award goes to Glass Bottle Launch for Vedika by Mindshift Interactive.